in my software, and then I have to start it on the YouTube, or like on in the YouTube dashboard. That is. So I have to start it twice, and I don't know which one really counts essentially. Yvonne Mangaid, hi. Mirotaya, hi. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's see, I get a warning here from my streaming software. Below the... okay. Well. Can I up my bitrate while I'm live? I always keep forgetting. Maybe I can, yeah. Should be able to. Maybe like this? We'll see. I have to try it out, you know. I have to give it a go. I have to give it a try. Mr. Spock89, hi. Guten Morgen, Dave. Alles fit im Schritt, bitte auf Deutsch. Ja, mir geht es sehr gut. Vielen Dank, dass du fragst. Natürlich führen wir das Ritual jetzt hier vor Ort, was ja in jedem Stream der Fall ist. Hier, was mich immer sehr freut, wenn du einschaltest. Mir geht's sehr gut. Ich bin jetzt seit 2 Wochen im neuen Job, der mega viel Spaß macht. Sehr abwechslungsreich ist, super Kollegen, super Arbeitsatmosphäre. Also ich wüsste nicht, wie man es toppen kann, ehrlich gesagt. Also ich kann wirklich nur in den höchsten Tönen schwärmen. So cool ist es. Und es ist noch einiges an Zeug, was ich mir so ein bisschen drauf schaffen muss nach und nach. Also einiges an Kenntnissen über verschiedene Aspekte und so. Weil es schon ein sehr spezielles Feld ist, ein sehr, wie soll ich es ausdrücken, ein sehr spezifisches Themenfeld, was wir so als Firma bekleiden. Aber macht super viel Spaß. Man kommt da auch rein mit der Zeit. Es dauert halt nur ein bisschen. Aber das wusste ich vorher, deswegen ist das alles kein Problem. Alright, everyone. I hope you could follow me a little bit. That was the typical, you know, Mr. Spock89 request in every single live stream, which I really love that he does that. Like, I really, really appreciate that. Which is basically him asking me to say how I'm doing in German, which I just did. And I basically said that for everyone else that may not have understood what I just said. I basically mentioned that I'm 2 weeks into my new job as a marketing manager, and it's been great so far. Like I can only, you know, praise it in the highest words. Basically, like everything, the team, you know, my coworkers, everything, the whole atmosphere at work. It's so, you know, I don't want to say that at my previous work, you know, my previous company that I worked for wasn't great. It had its good moments here and there, definitely, but it's almost uncomparable. Because this is like, it feels like a level up times 10. Like, in every way. Which is crazy. And I'm extremely happy about that. Yeah. There's still a lot of stuff that I have to get used to, you know, that I have to understand, have to comprehend fully, have to digest cognitively, like, you know, how things are related to each other, that kind of stuff. But that's, you know, that's a common thing when you get a new job, you know, a new environment, new topics and everything. So, yeah. That's gonna take some time for sure, but yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Couldn't be happier at the moment, to be honest. Yes. I hope you do great as well. Hope you had a great start into 2024, because, you know, maybe this is the first time we've actually seen each other. Maybe you haven't watched my last 2 videos that I just released last couple of days, which is okay, of course, if you're not interested in the topics. But yeah, this is the first stream in 2024, like on this channel. I've already streamed thrice, I want to say, on my Twitch channel, which is, German gaming related stuff, which is also a lot of fun. I'm still playing Alan Wake 2 on there, if you want to follow me there for free and hang out and watch me play games in German. That's, your way to go. Stream every other day, basically. I'm so glad to be able to join today. Yes, and I'm so glad that you can make it today, because I know that it's, it's kind of difficult for you regarding work and everything. So I really do appreciate that. Taking the time, spending the time here, Tiff. I really, really appreciate that. So that's awesome. That's really, really cool. Yes. I always appreciate your comments, by the way, which is, that is really, really awesome. And, your comments in general, you guys, that's, yeah, it's very motivational. I try to read as many as I can. Sometimes I may miss some because, I usually read them in my YouTube Studio app on my smartphone. But it doesn't really show every comments necessarily. And sometimes, because it's not just 1 or 2 comments, luckily, in a way, I may miss a few here and there. So, but I try to read as many as I can. Carl Herring, is your new company all German, or are there English speakers too? We are basically more or less international. Like, majority of people are German. So we're a German company by heart, but we also have a few people from other countries. In fact, 1 or 2 that are in the process of learning German or, improving their German, which is cool. So, yeah, it's a nice mixture. Why not watch German movies together? People could learn while watching cool movies. There are lots of good German movies. Yeah, I mean, like watch parties, I guess. I mean, I'm not against it necessarily. It's just a problem regarding copyright, especially on YouTube. It would be a problem, most definitely. Definitely. Copyright infringements and everything. It can be tricky, and I'm really careful with that stuff. I mean, there are other creators that are a bit more loose when it comes to that, which is totally fine. More power to them. Not judging anyone, but I'm a bit more on the careful side, cautious side of things. Yeah, cautious. So, yeah, I have thought about maybe doing a reaction to certain movies at some point, something like, Schindler's List, stuff like that, or The Downfall, that kind of stuff. Maybe even Inglourious Bastards. But I don't know. I haven't really planned anything as far as it comes to that. I meant on Twitch. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I might do something like that. Then again, I would love to do something that I can upload on YouTube, because, this is my main hub in a way. So, and I mean, you can try to upload movie reactions when you edit them. There are many people doing that. But then again, sometimes either people don't know, which is, understandably so, if they aren't creators themselves, or they don't care. But the thing is, though, I know that in America, for instance, you have the fair use right, using something under fair use, but we don't really have that in Germany like that. Like we have something which is related, maybe, like a little bit similar. Das Zitatrecht, the citation right. But it's, as far as I know, at least, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, it's not nearly as open or like forgiving when it comes to, you know, showing copyrighted stuff. That's the thing. Like, and I don't want to risk anything on the channel, to be honest, because this is sort of my baby, you know. I liked The Enigma of Kaspar Hauser, German movie not about World War II. Okay. Never heard of that. I know I've heard of Kaspar Hauser. The name sounds familiar, but I couldn't really tell you what it's about. Like, what he did and why someone made a movie about him. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. So, by the way, especially for, you know, like the Americans here, you may remember Rick Ardo here in the chat, you know, who just wrote something 1 or 2 minutes ago, from his avatar, you know, his profile pic. And indeed, it's the same guy as before. It's Ricardo. And previously, he was called Super Flash Crash, but he just rebranded himself. You know, he's a very, very good YouTube friend of mine and podcaster, also German podcaster, and in fact, a co-host of our mutually produced podcast, Custom. And just in case, you know, you may be wondering what's going on there, now he is Rick Ardo. It's an awesome name, I think. Yes, so Taunton Girl. Have you ever seen... Hi, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Have you ever seen or reacted to the German film The White Ribbon, Das Weiße Band? No, I haven't. I haven't seen that one yet, no. So that could be something interesting, you know. Maybe at some point I might do that. I may have to actually make a list with potential movie stuff that I could, you know, if not react to fully, but maybe analyze a few things, you know, linguistically speaking, or yeah, something like that maybe. We'll see. It's a Werner Herzog, a Werner Herzog, Werner Herzog movie. Ah, yeah. Yeah, he's well known, you know, aboard. I know. It's a German director, Werner Herzog, who's famous also, I think, for having made many movies with Klaus Kinski, who's also known internationally. German actor, who I think passed away in '94, like 30 years ago now, which is crazy. Same as Kurt Cobain, by the way, of Nirvana. This year it's gonna be 30 years since he passed, which is crazy. Really crazy. I've watched Himmel über Berlin recently. Awesome. It's an old movie from the 70s. Okay. Yeah, I usually don't really watch too many German movies, to be honest. Or German-produced series. Because, I mean, you can ask many Germans, especially younger ones, I guess, and they may tell you that many German movie productions, I don't know what that is. I couldn't really pinpoint it, to be honest, but most of the time they seem to lack something in terms of, I don't know if quality is the right term, but I mean, it's an unfair comparison, of course, but comparing, like a typical German, a standard German movie to a Hollywood blockbuster, there's no comparison, That being said, though, there are some, like, quite a few, many, however you want to call it, or counted, actually, great movies out there. Both old and new. And also great German series, shows. Dark being maybe the most prominent example. I think it's Babylon Berlin. And there's what's it called in English? Haus des Geldes. I think there's a new season playing or taking place in Berlin even. Yeah. I'm not sure. Something like that. So there are many great things, but and I think it keeps increasing in quality in recent years or months, but yeah. Quite often I'm not the biggest fan of German productions, to be honest. Right now, by the way, once again I'm quite late to the party, I know. But I am currently watching Peaky Blinders for the first time. Yep. The show about Birmingham, the Birmingham gang, late or like early 1920s with Cillian Murphy and Paul Anderson and Helen McCrory and many other great actors, and I love it. It's a great show. I mean, Cillian Murphy. Great actor. Really expressive. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Peaky Blinders at the moment. I'm really addicted to that. Yeah. Peaky Blinders! Yes! I love it. And by the way, Peaky Blinders. Great German voice acting in that. Great German dubbing. So if you know Peaky Blinders, if you've watched it already, and you want to practice your German listening skills, I think a good idea would be to rewatch Peaky Blinders, but in German with subtitles. Or, just in German. Because sometimes, subtitles and what they show on screen may differ from what the people actually say, sadly. So that's a bit tricky. But, just watching it in German, maybe. Like I said, great German voice actors in there. So, yeah. So that's something like the German voice dub, like the dubbing scene, if you will, is mostly, I think in quality terms, much better than German movies. If you can compare that. But yeah, I think it's fair to say. Yeah. There are a lot of great German voice actors here. Who are considered to be some of the best in the world. The German voice acting scene is considered one of the best in the world, if not the best. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. It is what it is. So, also made, I think, 1 or 2 videos about that topic before, like voice acting in Germany. I made a video about voice actors, German voice acting in Cyberpunk 2077. And I made a video about like some of my favorite German voice actors back in the couple of years ago. Yeah. Deutschland 83. Deutschland 83 is good. It's so well made how Germany was in 1983. Yeah, that's one that I haven't really watched yet. Bruno Ganz. Yes, Even though Bruno Ganz wasn't German, he was Austrian, but and sadly also has passed away. Der Bader-Meinhof-Komplex is also one that I have to watch. I haven't really watched that yet. Die Blechtrommel, Das Boot, yeah. The thing is, though, you know, as much as I appreciate good movies about war topics, I don't really want to watch only like war-related German movies. But many of the most successful German movies are about war topics. Nothing wrong with that, but I guess you know what I mean, right? So that's tricky. I think it was Austrian. I could be wrong though. I only know that he wasn't German. That's a great portrayal in The Downfall. Der Untergang in German, which is a literal equivalent. Der Untergang. Excuse me. Sometimes Germany elevates the script when they dub a film. Yeah, sometimes, but you know, I'm a bit torn when it comes to those things, because I also like watching originals, like the original version of things, of movies, series, and the like, you know, the English originals, but I also really appreciate the German, you know, voice acting scene. So I don't know. I'm a bit torn when it comes to those things. Yeah. Whoops. Was in the process of reading it, but then it got well, deleted. Stonk, I think, was almost nominated for an Oscar. It's really funny. Yeah, and there's another German production, like a German movie, that is nominated for an Oscar, like an Academy Award this year, I think. And even like a German director, like a female director, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I really, like, you know, apart from that, I really, really, really hope that Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan, the whole crew wins as many Oscars as they can. I really, really hope so. It's long overdue, in my opinion. Yeah. It's a great, great movie. Götz George. Yeah, he's a well-known German actor. Definitely. But still, you know, even that stuff, sometimes, at least to me, and I know that quite a few younger Germans would agree with me on that, at least the ones that I have talked to and that have, you know, expressed their thoughts on that. With German movies or German series, it almost always seems like Pravin Mecca, thanks for subscribing. And welcome. It almost always seems as if there are only like 5 actors in Germany overall, and they portray characters in every German movie there is. Like, once again, it's an unfair comparison, but because, you know, the industry in America is so much bigger and so much more, you know, advanced in many ways, I think. But anyway, what I want to say with this is sometimes it feels like, especially with older actors, like Götz-George, for instance, or someone like some others, to me, it almost always feels like, oh, there's a new German series on German TV, or there's like a new movie coming out, like a typical German movie. And it's the same faces as in every other German movie there is. Like, as if there are only 5 actors in Germany. Like, maybe that's just me and like a few other young Germans, or younger Germans, maybe even older Germans feel the same, I don't know. But I don't know. And that's no reflection on the actors, you know. I don't want to say anything bad about them as people, but yeah, I don't know. That being said, though, there are many, I think, great younger actors in Germany coming up more and more. You know, Dark also featured some of them. So, yeah. Carl Herring asks, Dave, have you ever heard of or seen the Störtebeker Festspiel live-action theater on the island of Rügen? Störtebeker was a German pirate. Yeah, I know. The clips on YouTube look great. I haven't really heard of that in specific, but I know of Störtebeker, like the tale, the myth, the legend of Störtebeker. Yeah, with an Ö, by the way. Störtebeker. And the island is Rügen with an Ü. Störtebeker. Yeah, he's pretty famous. You know, pretty well known in Germany. But I haven't really heard of the Festspiel, like the festival revolving him. He was like I said, a pirate, a German pirate. Also like Carl just said in the chat. But that sounds interesting though. Like, yeah. Never really been to Rügen yet either. So maybe if I should go there at some point, I may have to actually go see that. Yeah. Thanks for telling me. Osiris Ra. Dark was so good. Such a shame their show 1898 got cancelled. Really enjoyed it and wanted more. Yeah, I mean, I was about that was actually pretty yeah, sad and funny at the same time. Bittersweet, let's call it that. I was about to, or planned on, you know, watching a new show because I had just finished the old one that I had watched, you know, just before. And I was thinking about what could I watch next. And I was almost ready to start watching 1898, yeah. But then they announced that, you know, the show is cancelled and, you know, the second season won't come out and won't be produced and everything. And then I said, you know what, well then, in that case, no. I don't want to watch something that feels incomplete. And I know beforehand that it's incomplete. Like, but I'm sure it's not a bad production because I think the whole team behind that, who also produced Dark, which is great, they certainly know they know how to do something right in terms of, you know, producing high quality series and everything. But that's totally fine, Carl. I just mentioned that out of, you know, language learning reasons. No worries whatsoever. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Like, also considering how successful Dark was, or is, internationally speaking. You know, that was the first original German Netflix production ever, and it's so successful. But it's, you know, it's not something for everyone though. we also have to keep that in mind. Like, it's not mainstream. It's not like a mainstream show necessarily. It definitely, especially the third season, like the last one, I feel that's like totally all over the place. Not in a bad way, but you really have to be invested into the show at that point to follow the rest of it. And if you're not, and I think these days, with the attention span of many people and the willingness to actively think while watching something like a movie or a show or whatever it is, may not be as much developed, let me put it this way, for many people, which then again I also get, because very often I guess people watch shows in the evening, after work, and they are tired and they don't want to get involved with it too much. They just want to watch something and that's it. They want to relax and they don't want to think about what they watch, right? So I totally get that on the one hand, but on the other hand, but it's sort of same, and it comes full circle in a way with what I just mentioned. Oppenheimer, for instance. Maybe not that as much as Tenet, the previous Christopher Nolan movie, or Inception, but it's the same there. You have to really pay attention, and you have to be willing to pay attention, because otherwise you may appreciate the quality in terms of the cinematography and the acting and the music and directing and whatnot, scenery, the plot, but you won't really be able to enjoy it and to digest it fully. So those shows and those movies will always have a harder standing, I guess. Like, I guess you know what I mean, right? But I love that stuff. I love that stuff. I love to get really into something like art, whether it's music or movies or series, games. Speaking of Alan Wake 2, one of the best games I've ever played. It's so good. Really, really good. Let's see. And the movie Der plötzliche Reichtum der armen Leute von Krombach. Okay, never heard of that. Based on a true story in the 1800s. Never heard of that. And that's a really... It's a long title. I got a big red Rammstein flag hanging on my living room wall. Flag was bought from Rammstein shop. Okay. Cool. Watching that concert. Same team was good. Such a shame. Yeah. Regarding 1898. Can't you open a virtual keyboard in another window? Yeah, but I mean, and I think there are a few shortcuts, like for umlaute, but it's quite tricky, I think, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. Like on German, I don't know if I can show you, but on German keyboards, like here, maybe you can see the Ü, the umlaut Ü. We have the umlauts. Umlaute is the plural form in German, with an E at the end instead of an S. We have them on the keyboard. Like, we don't really have to take care of that with shortcuts or anything, which is quite convenient. Anyway. Do I have to write French for the cédille or the I don't know. I don't speak French. Have to play the dark themes. Hey, that's also really cool. Which is interesting. It's by Apparat. It's what's it called? It's a great song. And it was also played at some point, way before Dark was even produced, It was played in Breaking Bad. In a scene from Breaking Bad with Gus Fring, rather late in the series, I should say. So I won't spoil anything, but it got played in Breaking Bad as well. Goodbye, yes. By Apparat. Also German music project. If I'm not mistaken. What did you think of Tenet? Did you watch it in German? Yes. Hi James, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, I enjoyed it. It arguably is Christopher Nolan's most complex and confusing movie to date. And I do get the criticism that some people have that it may be too complicated for its own good. I, for one, even though I couldn't really explain the whole, physical ideas behind it with inversion and, all that kind of stuff. But still, I don't think you have to really get the whole gist of it. Like the whole, physical side of it fully in order to enjoy the movie. But it helps, of course. But I really enjoyed it. But I just watched it once. So I saw it, I think, when it came out. At the movies. Yeah. That was really, really cool. Yeah. Lexi logos. Alt shortcuts for the umlauts in SS. SS. SZ, I mean, not SS, that's something different. Now forgotten them all. I only buy German keyboards. They're much better than the English ones. And there's also another difference is that, right next to the T, like literally right next, to the right of the T letter, on international English keyboards you have the Y. But on German keyboards it's the Z or Z that is, next to the T right hand side. So they basically, like the Y and the Z, they switch positions on the German keyboard compared to the English one. That's another difference. Yeah. Tiffany says, I use about 4 different keyboards on my on my phone, and I can change my keyboard to international on my laptop, but I usually keep my laptop in Romanian. In Romanian. All right. That sounds intriguing. Romanian. Romanian has a lot of special characters. The more, the better. Yeah, it's Querz, so to speak. The standard German keyboard is Querz. Yeah. Not QWERTY. I've been to Germany a few times, Hamburg and Berlin, and is there a place or city you would recommend the next time I go? What you could do there? James, let me think. I mean, there are many great cities. Cologne in North Rhine-Westphalia. Düsseldorf is a big one. That is really, really nice sightseeing stuff there. Like very old buildings if you're into architecture, for instance. And if you really are into architecture in Germany, you have to pay Leipzig a visit. That's in like the pedestrian zone itself is insanely beautiful because of, you know, many awesome looking buildings, you know. Leipzig in East Germany. Cologne, you know, like I said, Düsseldorf, both pretty close to each other. In northern Germany, I'd say, you know, Berlin, of course. Quite close to Hamburg is Bremen, which is also really, really cool. Many, you know, different districts. Some are pretty well known for partying, for instance, you know, with clubs and bars and the like. Bremen. Yeah, and I mean, of course, in southern Germany you have Stuttgart, for instance, or you have Munich, you know, the big ones. Aachen, yeah, also quite well known for its architecture, I think, and everything. There are many great places to go to. Yeah. Still many places for me to visit in Germany. I've only been to Berlin and Munich, plus been in the Frankfurt airport. See, I've only been to Berlin, you know, from the cities you actually listed here. I've only been to Berlin yet. I have not been to Munich. I have not been to... Well, well, it's not quite true. I rode through Frankfurt on, like, by train. But I wasn't really there. So that doesn't really count. But, yeah. Yes, Bremen, where they brew Beck's beer. Yes. Yes. That's true. John asks, Dave, can you read Sütterlin? No. Maybe I'm confusing things, but I hope I'm not confusing things, but Sütterlin is, let me see real quick. Nah, I can't read Sütterlin. No. I mean, maybe a few words and a few letters, yeah, but it would take a while because it's way different from how Germans would write or spell these days. So it's quite outdated, and no one really uses that anymore. It's beautiful handwriting, you know, calligraphy, but very hard to read for me as an untrained person. But yeah, it's definitely beautiful handwriting. Sütterlin. It was very, very common back in the day, like many decades ago. But yeah. Trier as well, yeah, also have heard many great things about that city. Never been there yet myself, but yeah, heard that it's really interesting. I heard many great things about Freiburg and Heidelberg, also very beautiful, apparently. Thanks, Dave. Yes, I heard Leipzig is a good visit. Also, if you're a fan of zoos, you know, if you like zoos, the Leipzig Zoo is awesome, one of the most beautiful ones in Germany. We've just been there, like me and my family, we've just been there last year for the first time. Great zoo, you know, Leipzig Zoo. I also made a vlog about that, by the way, so if you want to get a first glimpse at what it's like, feel free to watch it on my channel. Beautiful handwriting, historic, taught in school. Yes. Yeah, there are many, many great castles. I mean, even in my city, which is not like a big city, we have a castle. So, yeah. Hunting castle, that is. Das Jagdschloss. Quite a few castles in Germany overall. I've only been to one, I think, which is also not one of the, it's not the most well-known one. Like it's not Neuschwanstein. How do you say in English? Swarnstein, maybe? I don't know. Neuschwanstein, which is arguably the most famous one. I would like to go there at some point. Have never been there yet. Yeah. You're welcome, James. You're welcome. Cheers. So, I've only visited Neuschwanstein. Ah, yeah. It's like a typical sightseeing point of interest, of course. But I've never been there. I guess most Germans, in fact, have never been there. I think that's one of the instances where, like, foreigners go there more often than people living there, or like next to it, or close to it in the same country. But oh well. Disney modeled its castle on it. Yes, that's true. Only got to see the Wartburg castle, but that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, there are many great ones. Very touristy. Yeah, I've never really been to like southern Germany yet. Like a little bit maybe. The most southern that I ever got was Speyer, I think. Is Speyer... Is it more south? Like more in the south than Nürburg? Not sure actually. Let's see. Oh, okay, so Speyer is more in the south. Okay, so Speyer, also a beautiful city, by the way. It's not like a big city, but it's a bigger city. Also well known in Germany for the cathedral there. Beautiful cathedral in Speyer. Yeah. A friend of mine lives there. Der Rockshop, fellow YouTuber, with whom I actually made 3 videos so far. The Rammstein music challenges, if you remember, or in case you've watched them, where we had to guess Rammstein songs either played backwards or Rammstein songs with translated lyrics in English, something like that, right? And that was fun. That was fun. Yeah. When speaking German at a normal pace, it's difficult to remember the right endings of accusative, dative, etc. Is it distracting for native speakers, or is it that typical to hear from foreigners? CB, hi. First of all, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I mean, I can only speak from a native speaker's perspective, of course. So for me, it's not difficult at all because I'm used to it. Then again, you know, many Germans don't really use genitive endings as much as they used to use them a few decades ago. Like the genitive case, and I also made a video about that like 7 years ago or so, a long time ago. The German genitive case is slowly dying out, if you will. In comparison to, let's say, the accusative, or especially also the dative case, which is a common phenomenon, linguistically speaking, these days. So that is something that many German native speakers have problems with, I would say, or they don't know better. Because, yeah, they sometimes... They like genitive endings of words in German sometimes, I don't know, sound a little bit out of place, or like they may sound strange or foreign to Germans' ears. It's hard to explain why that is. Maybe it just comes down to like how what a language feels like when you use it, like language aesthetic reasons, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint, but it's definitely interesting. So yeah, it's not exactly an answer to your question, but like for me at least, it's not a problem at all. You're just so used to using the different cases. Yeah, but it's a good question. There's a great movie about King Ludwig with Romy Schneider playing an older Sisi made in Neuschwanstein Castle. In fact, there are 2 Edgar Wallace movies that were shot at at the castle in my place, my town, a few decades ago. Der Schwarze Abt, don't know what the English title is, but is one of them, and the other one I keep forgetting. But yeah, I think they also filmed some sissy scenes for a new movie there, but I'm not sure about that. I always get self-conscious because I don't know how bad it sounds, so I end up not speaking as much. Yeah, but you know, I totally get that. But I personally would still think just give it a try, because otherwise it may be hard to improve if you don't try, you know. But at the same time, I do get why you may have reservations, or like you hesitate to speak fluently, or like to speak German at all, because you're always afraid of making mistakes. I totally get that. But at the same time, just gotta give it a try. I mean, I think. And even if you make mistakes, that's fine, because you're learning. You know, you're not a native speaker. At least that's how I feel about it. And I know for a fact that many Germans, for instance, also feel about that the same way. So, yeah. If they see that you're trying, and even if you make mistakes, they will still, I guess most Germans will still appreciate that though, because they see you're trying. So yeah, go for it. Yes, non-native speakers tend to make mistakes with the endings. It's not uncommon, but when people have lived a few years in Germany, they get them right eventually. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Don't worry, people. What? People. People even enjoy such things. Ah, okay. It will make you more charming. Yes, I think so too. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, of course, and there are these and those people always. But yeah, I would appreciate it though, because I'm open-minded when it comes to those things. So yeah. In some dialects, they are even different than in Hochdeutsch, Standard German, or High German. Yeah, like the Berlin dialect. Yes. And you're welcome, CB. That's interesting about the genitive case. I love German grammar. I never knew. I'll look for that video. Thanks. You will, if you want to watch that movie, if you want to watch that video, be prepared. I think it was one of my first videos that I made, but it's a good example maybe. Be prepared to see or to hear especially a Dave that is not as fluent in English and that doesn't really sound American-y-ish when speaking English. That just occurred like 6-7 years ago. I just got used to that. To like using more American English enunciation. So it's an interesting linguistic journey for me as well. When I sometimes watch, or when YouTube suggests my own videos to me, or whenever I try to optimize videos, like older videos with, in terms of SEO, search engine optimization and everything, and I, tune into them, I watch a few seconds. It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's like the answering machine effect, I guess. When you hear yourself on the answering machine, it sounds foreign to you, hearing your own voice like that. I mean, I'm used to it by now, but it's still watching these old videos. That's a trip. That's a damn trip. Yeah. Oh well. Also, things can have different genders from one land to another. Der, die, das, yes. Yeah, and sometimes you even have German nouns that can have different genders. It can either be masculine, feminine, or neuter, and some even can be all three. And then you can choose whether to use, der, die, das. Something like that. So yeah. I think that most people will appreciate that you try to speak. Yes, I think so too. Like from my experience, and once again, I can't and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I guess most people that I can think of, most fellow Germans, they would appreciate it. Yeah. They may switch like more or less immediately, especially younger ones that are more well versed with the English language, compared to like elders, 60 plus, 70 plus years old. They're not as well versed with English most of the time, because back in the day, my grandparents' generation, born in the 30s, they didn't learn English back in school. That wasn't a thing back then. Simply wasn't. So they understand a few words and everything, but that's about it. Like, they can't really speak English. And even in my parents' generation, they were born in the early 60s. Even in that generation, still tricky for many people. They may understand many things, but they won't be able to speak it. Fluently, let alone at all. Because I'm the exception maybe, and people like me are the sort of an exception, because I basically use it very often, and I'm used to speaking English and using English and everything, writing stuff in English and whatnot. I'm sort of used to it by now, but most Germans, or let's say many Germans, they don't need English in their everyday lives. As long as they don't, work in an international company, or as long as they don't work in like an online digital business, marketing business, where you have many English buzzwords, keywords and whatnot. Or content creation, in English, like I do. So anyway, Heidi Eilas, hello from Denmark. Oh, greetings to our neighbors in the north. Liebe Grüße nach Dänemark, liebe Heidi. Greetings from Germany. Cheers from Germany to Denmark, of course. Never been to Denmark yet. Definitely also need to go there at some point, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, you have to make mistakes before getting it right. No mistakes. Yeah, no mistake, no learning. That's basically it in a nutshell. Yeah. Dave, your English is better than my German. No worries. That's a super cute reaction. Much appreciated, John. Die Nutella, das Nutella. Yeah, and you know, with own words, Eigennamen, that is, own words, like Nutella, like brand names. That's a thing on its own, like, or in its own right. In terms of, you know, articles, genders, and everything. It's der Gummi, das Gummi, you know, the gummy, or gum. Kaugummi, der Kaugummi, das Kaugummi. Something like that. And when the article changes the meaning of the noun. For instance, der Pony, das Pony. Yes. That's also quite common for quite a few nouns, actually. Like the other day, I came up with another example, and I thought about making a video about it. Maybe I wrote it down. We'll see. I hope I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. I won't spoil it though, but may make a video about it. It's a quite funny one, actually. And I made a similar video many years ago about Weizen, der Weizen or das Weizen. Also very similar. The article, like the with a different gender comes a different meaning. And that's what I find fascinating. So der Weizen means something completely different as das Weizen. Like in that case, for instance, der Weizen is wheat. And das Weizen is a short version of saying das Weizenbier. Wheat beer. So it's related still, but you know. Let's see. My mother is German. She lives in France for more than 50 years, but she has never learned the language. She understands a lot, though. Ah. I see. Yeah. Hi, I'm taking the A1 Goethe exam this March. Any tips or advice? Mr. Duck, hi. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'm not really familiar with that exam, though, so I can't really give you any tips or advice specifically on that. I mean, I keep suggesting to immerse yourself in a language when you learn it, in the sense of listening to German music in that case, or watching movies in German, watching series in German, playing games in German, you know, that kind of stuff. But then again, that mostly helps people that are more intermediate or advanced, I guess. Reading books in German, something like that. But like for A1, that's hard. That's like a specific tip or advice. You're gonna make it. That is what I can tell you. I wish you lots of luck. Best of luck for it. And yeah. Dave, can you imitate the wind sound? No. I can't whistle, by the way. Yes, there are people that can't whistle. Yeah, with cola, it's more obvious though, Hellemark. It's die Cola. It would be pretty much all people would say die Cola. So it would be feminine in that case. Because of the R at the end, I guess. Many people, even though it's an own name, like a brand, it's because of the R at the end, which is like a feminine letter at the end of words, often, not always, but most of the time, it becomes a feminine noun. So, die Cola. Are people allowed to walk in any forest or natural place? Many pieces of land in the US are private property and do not allow random people to just explore there. I mean, there are also private properties in Germany. Definitely. So you're not allowed to walk in any forest or natural place in Germany, but there are many public forests, you know, that you can hike through or, you know, roam around in. And yeah, they're in like how do you call them? Nature preservation areas, I guess you can call them, that are maybe off limits, you know, or you don't have like hiking trails running through them necessarily, but there are many forest regions in Germany that you can walk through. Yeah. I've seen videos of people hiking or biking in Germany, and it seemed a bit more open. Just wondering. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't really know, because I haven't really been to the US yet. I haven't really been to many other countries in my life yet, in fact. So I can't really say anything about that really yet. Hope I'll be able to change that in the future and travel a little bit here and there, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, there are definitely many green spots like forests and the like in Germany. Also in my region, for instance, the Sauerland. It's well known for its vast nature, you know, and skiing in Winterberg, for instance, is Winterberg is well known in Germany for being a skiing region in the winter, especially, you know. And it literally means winter mountain, Winterberg. So, yeah. Nobody will shoot you. Nobody will shoot you if you step on their property. Yeah, that may be a difference. That is true. But yes, you can go everywhere unless it's gated, I guess. Yeah, as a rule of thumb, I guess you can say that. Look out for the signs, though. You know, if you see signs where they say like something with private, privat, wouldn't go there. I can't whistle either, so I'm not the only one. That's all. That's good to know. So maybe because of das Getränk. No, not in that case though. It will pretty much always be die Cola. I don't know anyone who would say das Cola. It used to be a Sunday tradition im Wald spazieren. Yes, that's true. Many Germans actually do that, or, you know, at least when they have like children, for instance, they go out and about in the forest, you know, and stuff like that. And I should do it more often as well. I mean, back in the day, back in my youth, teen years, that was a common thing with my grandparents, for instance, or my parents, you know, to walk through the woods here in my region. Yeah. But, you know, sometimes the older you get, the less often we actually do that. But yeah. All right, everyone. I think I will leave it at that for today. And I hope you enjoyed the stream, because I sure did. I would like to thank every one of you for tuning in and for chatting here with me. It's always much appreciated. I always enjoy that, as you know. I always appreciate your comments, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, of course, sharing my videos, which is a big help. And also helps the channel to grow, maybe even up to 100k at some point. Like I said, keep saying it, but it's true. That's pretty much my one and only YouTube goal that I have. Maybe reaching 100k subscribers at some point. Who knows? It's difficult in the field of work, or like in the regarding the topic that I tackle, because it's very niche. Like, I do get that, I know that, but still, you know, I can try. Anyway, yeah, hope to see you in February as well. By the way, just saying this, but I will also make a news video, like an update video of sorts, once it's taking effect. Let me put it this way. I plan on changing my Patreon from per video to per month, like a monthly subscription thing in the future. And yeah, that way it's more transparent for you guys. If you want to support me on Patreon, how much that is, you know, and it's basically the same amount, and you can rely on that. It's not gonna be more or less, or, you know, it's not gonna change that much in the future anymore, because it's gonna be a fixed amount. You know, that's basically out of transparency reasons, and because it's easier to handle it, frankly speaking. Yeah, I am thinking about changing it to per month. But it's not, you know, not there yet, but I guess in the near-ish future, that's gonna start taking effect. Yeah. But once again, once that is changed, I'm gonna make a little update video for you guys on YouTube as well, if you wanna support me there. Because I think the difficulty is that the current Patreon supporters have to manually pledge, like they have to renew their pledge because of the change in per month per video system, as far as I know, which can be tricky, I guess. So yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for everything, guys, girls, whoever. I always appreciate you guys being here and watching my videos. And I hope you're going to have a great weekend, great rest of January. And I hope to see you in February. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. And with that being said, tschüss und definitely bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye bye.